Nyarji chimbo tsodan jingme xiang, zondi molam chimbo, ngabja tawa pakarta ngab santu shirma do, tomba tukje chanla ki xiang tsar. Good morning.
Is the thing in and on?
Yeah.
Can you switch it on?
In O means what?
It's upside down?
In O means no. And O in means on, right? All right. Today I want to talk a little bit about the three qualities of Buddha. Buddha, usually when we hear the word Buddha, what do you think of? Buddha. The word Buddha means what? The Buddha means awake, right? Awake. What awake? A mind. So Buddha does have all qualities of a Buddha, but the most important qualities are the three qualities. They are great love, capacity, and wisdom, or the perfect mind. So that's the three qualities of Buddha. So Buddha Shakyamuni came to on this earth 2,600 years, right? But still we think about him, we learning about him, we practice about him, we follow him, and how he reached the state of enlightenment. So this is kind of amazing, you know. I think because he is the best person came on this earth ever. That's why people think of him and how he reached the state of enlightenment. People, I think, want more and more and interested about him. So actually Buddha said, we are what we think. Understand? We are what we think, which means our thoughts, our mind makes this world, makes this samsara, makes suffering, right? And on the other hand, our realization and understand makes the liberation or enlightenment or what you call it, nirvana or happiness. So I think that's why he said, we are what we think. So our true mind, right? Our true mind is a mind of beyond imagination, very open, and wisdom that sees things as they truly are. That is who we really are. Wisdom is a deep understanding and realizing of people, things, or situations. Wisdom means look at the situation and investigate first, and then makes a correct decision about it. So that is Buddha's wisdom mind. Wisdom, our awakened mind is always a good mind, and it's never confused, and it's free from all the suffering. That is the true nature of our mind. Buddha taught that every human being has the capacity to achieve that level of realization. So, so that is the true. But if this is true, then why we are misunderstanding for everything and sort of not happy sometimes, most of time very difficult, right, situation, unhappy. The reason is that even though the awakened state is the true nature of the mind, but most of us don't see it, don't understand, don't realize. The Buddha says that when we don't sort of comprehend emptiness and wisdom, we don't see that is really there. That wisdom mind or Buddha mind is always with us, right? But we don't see that it's really here. That's why I think our mind, our mind is always busy and constantly involved with thoughts and emotions and concepts, right? And in ordinary life, we are we are really like dreamers, believing that the dream we are having are real. We think we are awake, and we understand everything, but we are not. According to Buddha's point of view, we are not awake. We have a very deep dream about this samsara. We are not awake. So we think that this busy mind of thoughts and emotion is who we truly are. But when we actually wake up, understand the true nature and our misunderstanding then about who we are and the suffering that confusion brings is gone. When we understand the true nature, then all this misunderstanding, confusion, all these are gone, no longer there. So that is we called Buddha mind. Once you realize the true nature, then we call that is the Buddha mind. Buddha mind is like beautiful flower. You know, the flower bloom in the mud place, right? But it is not involved with the mud. It's always pure and beautiful. So that Buddha and Bodhisattvas, even though they are, especially when we talk about the Nirmanakaya Buddha, they are in this samsara, but their mind is not involved. The confusion, misunderstanding, and afflictions. Buddha mind liberated from suffering. You know, so the Buddha mind is not abided in the extremes of samsara or nirvana or liberation, because it is the highest level of wisdom and compassion. That is his quality, wisdom and compassion. The wisdom, when we say Buddha mind is not abided in the extreme of samsara and nirvana, right? Both. Why? You know why? Because of the wisdom and compassion. Wisdom helps that one does not abide in the extreme of samsara, because understand the true nature of samsara. Wisdom mind understand the true nature of samsara, the characteristic of samsara. And then compassion helps that one does not abide in extreme of nirvana or liberation, because compassion sees that, understand that all living beings suffering. They see they can help. So these two, the wisdom and compassion, the combination of these two, amazing. That is the ultimate reality, which is also known as the authentic, or we call the Dharmakaya, right? Dharmakaya. So it is because there are 2 points here. First, Buddha's knowing is non-dual wisdom, and not the dualistic consciousness of sentient beings. Therefore, the Buddha mind does not have attached or the other afflictions to all phenomena in the way that ordinary beings have. And the Buddha has left behind, what do you call it, grasping or craving and torment, that his Buddha nature is truly manifest. That's one. And the second point is the wisdom of truly complete. Buddha is focused not on one or few living beings, but constantly has every single being as its situation. So this is we call the union of wisdom and bodhicitta, or enlightenment mind of a Buddha. A mind which does not just have an aspiration to benefit all beings, but it's actually, understand of every being and actively engaged in doing whatever could be done for all those living beings. So that is kind of his capacity. So the Buddha is looking upon all sentient beings. This means there are 3 kinds of beings, right? First, he starts the ordinary beings. They are those who have not done anything in terms of the path. That's first. And second, they are all sentient beings who are on the path to enlightenment, but still they need help. And finally, at the very end, sentient beings of the great development, like the bodhisattvas, mahasattvas, or the great beings. So there are 3 kind of beings the Buddha is looking upon. And so not only Buddha Shakyamuni, all Buddhas looking upon all sentient beings, means not only Buddha Shakyamuni, which is Buddha Shakyamuni is we call the Nirmanakaya, right? Nirmanakaya. But the other 2 kayas, the Dharmakaya and Sambhogakaya, looking upon all sentient beings. So it's very important to understand these three kayas there, because three different kind of living beings, they need differently help. So there are three kayas that are achieved as a result of practice. The Dharmakaya about looking on the nature of the situation of all sentient beings and seeing at the same time its own nature. The Dharmakaya is the reality of true wisdom itself, the combination wisdom and compassion itself, just I told you. And then the Sambhogakaya about looking on the mind stream of sentient beings of the pure level, like bodhisattvas, mahasattvas, and great beings, and teaching them. Like for instance, if you reached on the path, the bhumis, bodhisattvas levels, then probably you can see the Sambhogakayas, and you can listen teaching from the Sambhogakaya, joy-meant body. But ordinary beings like us, we can't see the Sambhogakayas because they are kind of pure sort of levels, the great development like bodhisattvas. So they do that. And then the last is the Nirmanakaya. That's we can see, even though the ordinary people, the Nirmanakaya is the manifestation that appears as a Buddha and teaching to ordinary beings like us and who have good karma. It is the physical body, right? It is physical body of a Buddha and who manifest physically to teach. That's exactly Buddha Shakyamuni, who came to India and teach Four Noble Truths for the ordinary people like us. So ultimately, Dharmakaya, Nirmakaya, Sambhogakaya, they are the same. But it depends, the three kayas, it depends on individual, on the living beings. They are different kind of living beings, so that's why they appear kind of differently. So that's why Buddha has these qualities. Understand? For instance, Buddha taught the Dharma, right? That's the amazing qualities. Nobody can teach like this. That's only his qualities. For example, he taught the Dharma and it's very powerful, right? Powerful teaching and benefits, change the mind, change our mind in good way. So that's his capacity. That's actually for, someone who become enlightened, and we call Buddha, means then teach the Dharma through their own experience. But unfortunately, sometimes people misunderstood and practice it incorrect way, so then doesn't work for them, and they think something wrong with the teachings, but actually something wrong with the person who misunderstand about it, So because the Buddha explained the Dharma in a good way and beneficial way, It's because Buddha always taught with his compassion. He always taught his bodhicitta mind. And with reality and particular teaching to different individuals according to their particular sort of nature. So Buddha taught Dharma very well because firstly, through analysis, right, of reality and unmistakably see the situation of phenomena, taught the meaning accordingly. Therefore, one who relies on that Dharma to discipline or to tame their mind will be able unmistakably to see the reality. And also Buddha has a correct vision. So he teaches the Dharma accordingly, and it means that someone who relies on that teaching also have the ability to find the correct view, correct vision. So what he says now, very shortly, Buddha says to reach liberation, we must use mind training to look inward, to recognize the true nature of our mind. That's the only way to liberate, diminish the suffering. The dualistic mind of ordinary sentient beings only look out, right? Look out at phenomena, which cause they to not recognize the true nature of their mind. That's the difference. Then, no matter, it will never be able to see or understand the reality that the terms of Dharma point at. So this is, this is different. This is different between samsara and nirvana. So nirvana means the state beyond sorrow. Understand? Sorrow means afflictions of the mind. Suffering means afflictions of the mind and emotions. So if we do not have some sort of understand of this, then we will not have the desire or wish to achieve liberation. We have to first think about what Buddha says. If you want to tame your mind or liberate your mind, you have to look inwardly. Then you investigate, right? Chantakurt, Buddha's student, he said, where do all these sufferings come from? If you look inwardly, investigate your mind, then you will see the sufferings, unhappiness, unpleasant. Then you think about where they come from, right? They're coming from ego grasping. And how do we grasp our ego? When we look at it, how do you see yourself? How do you see yourself? Buddha doesn't say there is no I. Okay, Buddha doesn't say that. But he says there is no independent I. Very, sometimes people say, oh, Buddha said no I. That doesn't make sense. But Buddha never said that. Buddha said there is no independent I. That's why he said the emptiness is the most important subject in his teachings, right? because when you investigate yourself, and then you will see independent I. So he is saying there is interdependently arising I. It really helps, I depends on the other. Others depends on me, right? You can't have I without others. So everything is, if you think about Buddha's teaching, then you will find this essence of teaching. It is everything is interdependently arise each other. That helps. For instance, I think about this, it helps my bodhicitta mind. Because I depends on others, other depends me, and I can make them happy. They can make happy, and they can make me happy, right? So that's the essence. That's the essence of Buddha's teaching. Everything is interdependently arising each other. There's no exist anything that without interdependently arising. None. That's why emptiness makes sense. That's why emptiness and interdependent origination is related to each other. That is his teaching. So, when we investigate our mind, usually the problem is we always say, I want this, I need this, the I, right? The grasping, the ego grasping. That is the root of the problem. Samsaric way, that is the root of problem. So then you investigate. You have to, look inwardly, see yourself, how everything what do you call it, interdependently arises. How you see that, how you understand that. That makes less attachment. Less attachment. So Buddha always say that, right? Inwardly, not outwardly. Buddha said that what you are what you think. When he said that, what do you understand? I think that's very short, but it's I think very important one. Buddha said, we are what we think. We are what we think. That means your mind makes everything. Happy, suffering, pleasant, unpleasant, everything depends on your mind. How you see, how you deal with. So, don't sometimes, we have a problem and we want to find the solution, and we look outwardly and investigate where it comes from these problems. I mean, that sometimes helps, but most time we have to look inward. What's the problem? How we deal with this problem. So today, I think we should think about impermanence for few minutes, okay, when we meditate. Impermanence for a few minutes with the breath, okay, with the breath. Before we meditate, I think today we will meditate on 3 channels with Green Tara. So before we do this, it is very important think about impermanence with the breath, okay, the combination impermanence with the breath. And it is very easy to know that everything is changing moment by moment, very naturally. You think about your life, the situation, the environment, and everything is changing because it is nature, right? It is nature. Everything is momently changing. So sit in very comfortable, okay? Sit in very comfortable with your body. And when you breathe in, say yourself or think, that I am breathe in, and that makes you are there. That makes your mind is with your breath, with your body. So saying when you breathe in, I am breathe in, and make sure you understand that. You are there. And then when you breathe out, think about everything is changing. So you should try, how much you can see everything is changing between breathe in and breathe out. So when you say breathe in, I am breathe in, that helps you don't follow your thoughts. Be present. I am breathe in. And you breathe out, then you think about how everything is changing. You see, hear, feels, everything is changing. How much you can see. You should little bit sort of, think about that. And when we breathe in and out, need to do it very slowly, right? Slowly. And you should think that also what kind of unpleasant and situations makes you difficult in your life. And then why am I worrying so much about this all the time? Everything is changing, the idea of worrying is make you uncomfortable and suffer. So if you understand impermanence, not only understand intellectually, right? If you practice, first understand and practice on impermanence, then you know that everything is changing, all the time. then it helps you have a better life. It also helps you to, better life means help you to not worry about everything. Sometimes happy, sometimes unhappy, but they are change. They will change. Definitely they will change. So that's why it helps. People unhappy, they think that's forever. But it's not forever. It will go. It will go. It will change. So few minutes do that, okay? Few minutes. Breathe in and make sure your mind. Make sure your mind is in your body. Breathe in. And then breathe out. How much change between these two? So that's kind of very easy. Breathe in. When you breathe in, visualize. Your mind is there. You say, I'm breathe in. Very slowly. And then when you breathe out, think about how much change. All right, can you see? So now the first visualize 3 channels in your body. Okay. The right and left channels start at your nostrils and circle around the top of your head, and then down the center of your body on the right and left side until they reach the bottom of the torso. At this point, the right and left channel, they merge together into the center channel, and it is a little bit bigger than the right and left channels, and center channel move up towards your heart chakra, heart center. And then start by breathing in, visualizing your breath moving into the left and right channels, and down your torso until it reaches the center channel, and then your breath moves up towards the heart chakra, in heart center you visualize green Tara, your heart center, visualize green Tara like this tanka. If you are Buddhist, if you are not, you can visualize a spear of white spear of light at your heart center. You can visualize that. So now you have these three channels in your body, and either green Tara or the white of the spear of light at your heart center. After that, when you breathe in and your breath reaches the heart center and your breath dissolve into either the spear of light or the green Tara, it's a heart, green Tara's heart. Your breath dissolve, breath, coming up and towards the heart center. The ones reach the green Tara's, and then your breath dissolve into green Tara's mind, the wisdom, the compassion mind. Or if you visualize spear of light, your breath dissolve into the spear of light, and then without thinking anything. So just to do rest and meditation until your thoughts arise, and then start again. If your thoughts arise, then you can start again. Visualize whole things, channels and Tara, and rest in meditation. And once your thoughts arise, do again, over again and again. So alternately, rest in meditation and this visualization, three channels in Tara. So do that for 20 minutes, okay?
I have a question. You talked about how, in some ways, everything is our mind. So how we look at things and how they reflect back to us is our mind. In some ways, are you giving us an instruction that whatever we see in our life is just a reflection of the quality of our mind? So it's just a way for us to look at our mind. So you can either look outside at the world, at phenomena, and let that be a reflection of your state of your mind, or you can look at your mind and see just the capacity of everything to arise.
Right.
Is that what you're talking about when Buddha said everything is our mind?
Yeah, yes.
So it's like a mirror.
It's like a mirror, but it's like creator. Your mind creates samsara and nirvana. I mean, he's saying that.
So in other words, everything that arises is neither good nor bad nor neutral. It just is there. It's just what arises.
No, I think it depends how you think. It means if you understand the reality, the nature of all phenomena, then even though you have a bad circumstance around you, doesn't bother you. Or the other way, you are very happy. I mean, everything is perfect, but your mind is you don't understand the mind. Then doesn't matter. Everything is wrong. It's kind of unpleasant. So it depends on how you understand, how you deal with. So how you understand about your mind. So I think that's really true, because sometimes the good meditators, they have a difficult situation, but they're always happy. Can't destroy their mind, because everything is they understand the reality, the impermanence, the emptiness, the wisdom, the compassion, everything they understand. Then nobody can bother, nobody can destroy their mind and change. So that's why I think what do you think who you are?